Yeah, the word that just keeps leaping to the tip of my tongue is entitlement. And I really think entitlement is the toxic element of ego, especially when you're sharing something with somebody, and whether it's positive or negative. Um, we are entitled to nothing. We are entitled to the willingness of others to make a situation better. And if you're not willing to share that willingness because your ego's in the way, then, like Sean said, you are part of the problem. You are not part of a solution. And sorry, I'm inferring that's what Sean was implying, but it's like I too have been in situations in the wilderness that have been challenging, like make or break, and one of them required a search and rescue extraction, and during the extraction, I mean, I laid in the mud for better part of 3 hours holding a guy in C-spine, and as the SAR team started to trickle in, because we were out there, it was a lengthy process. As the SAR team started to trickle in, and we were developing our team that was going to do the ropes extraction, etc., there was this it was very tangible who felt like they were entitled to a position of power on that team, and they were not helpful. They were part of they were part of the disorganization of that extraction, when what we needed all hands on deck, and we needed to work together to get this scenario resolved, which ultimately it did. But it was very interesting to me, because when we were transitioning to ambulance to get out of the scenario to care, I could hear the debrief already starting amongst the SAR team. And I don't know who was who by title, but I could tell who was demonstrating fine leadership in that, because they were taking the person who was behaving in that entitled way in that scenario, and they took him to the side, and I could hear them get started. And that conversation was not kind. It was like, you were part of the problem out there. And so when we think about this idea of putting our hands in the mix and becoming a part of a shared experience, we don't have room for the entitlement, like this should be done by somebody else. I just think that it's something that's toxic in our culture, in our society right now. And I mean, obviously amongst youth, I see it in spades in the high school. It's like, you are seeing people walking past things that could be resolved very simply because they feel like it's somebody else's job. And that's where, mentorship and leadership become a really critical